I'm Bernie Thurston, and this is Index Data and ETF Analytics by ULTUMUS. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the FTSE 100 index. Most people assume the FTSE 100 reflects the top 100 companies by market cap within the UK. However, we're going to investigate those 3 points. Number 1, the number of companies. Number 2, the market capitalisation. And number 3, the regional exposure. However, before we do, let's have a quick look at some of the history behind the index. The FTSE brand is obviously a combination between the Financial Times and the London Stock Exchange. However, before the FTSE 100, there was an original index called the FTOI. This was originally called the Ordinary Index, which probably explains that the financial structures are not the best people at marketing. However, this index is actually still in existence today. It's now called the FTSE 30. However, I'd never heard of it before I started doing the investigation for this video, which probably explains how popular it actually is. Whilst the FT was calculating indices and came up with the FT 100 in its original incarnation, however, the newspaper was only doing these end of day. Obviously, as soon as they wanted to get real-time indices, they needed another party, which is where the stock exchange came in. Thus, the originally structure was the FT 100 was the end of day indices, and the SE 100 stock exchange was the real-time indices. These obviously combined into what we now know as the FTSE 100. This JV was formalised as the FTSE Group in 1995 and continued operating until 2011 when the Financial Times sold their 50% stake to the London Stock Exchange. In hindsight, I'm sure they regret this decision. The explosion in value of data companies has grown exponentially, whilst the opposite has probably been the case for the publication companies. So, going back down to the 3 points that we were originally investigating, number 1 was the number of constituents within the index. Everyone would assume the FTSE 100 has got 100 constituents. No, that's not the case. It has been as high as 103, currently it's 101. The rationale behind this is FTSE looks at the companies eligible for inclusion within the index and allows multiple lines of stocks. So currently the reason why it's gone to 101 is Royal Dutch and Shell has got an A and a B line of stock, and both are eligible for inclusion within the index by measures of liquidity and market cap. Thus we have 101 constituents. Now point 2. Does the index reflect the top 100 companies by market capitalisation? No, it doesn't. This is designed quite explicitly within the FTSE rules. They only allow companies to be automatically added to the index if they get into the top 90 by market capitalisation, and they exclude companies only if they fall out of the top 111 by market capitalisation. This is actually quite a sensible plan. This is designed to stop churn within the index by price fluctuation, so companies cannot just keep going in and out of the index. Thus, the index actually reflects the top 110 companies by market capitalisation, of which 100 are actually included in the index at any one time. Now, point 3, the biggie. Does the FTSE 100 represent UK organisations? The quick answer to this is no. However, just to prove a point, let's dig into one of the sectors. And here, I admit a selection bias. I'm specifically choosing a sector that proves my point. Thus, I'm choosing the mining sector. This sector contains 7 companies: Rio Tinto, BHP Billiton, Glencore, Anglo American, Fresnillo, Polymetal, and Antofagasta. Those organisations, Rio Tinto is dual listed on London Stock Exchange and the ASX, BHP Billiton, exactly the same, and listed on both exchanges, both indices of those exchanges as well. Polymetal, the largest metal producer in Russia and is dual listed on the Russian Stock Exchange. Glencore is headquartered in Switzerland, is domiciled in Jersey, but is listed on the London Stock Exchange. Antofagasta is the largest Chilean copper producer. Anglo American is South Africa's largest platinum and diamond producer. One of its subsidiaries is De Beers. Fresnillo is Mexico's largest precious metal producer. All of this indicates these organisations are not UK based. However, this is not a bad thing. This is merely a reflection of the fact that the London Stock Exchange is a prestigious listing. Multiple companies want to list there, and the index reflects the companies that are listed there. Anyway, that is the end of our quick dive into the FTSE 100. Next week we're going to be covering the S&P 500. This was Index Data and ETF Analytics by ULTUMUS. For more information, please visit ultumus.com.